Hey, it's Dan, and welcome to Unified Gaming. So in this live stream, guys, we're going to be on the live server on the Elder Scrolls Online, looking at update 46. This is the update that brings subclassing, the patch that's going to change how the game plays, PvP and PvE. In the first part of this stream, I'm going to go through and give a brief guide on how to access the system, a breakdown of what it means, how it actually works, and then we'll go through, update our build ready for the patch because there's a lot to go through. As always, if you're new to the channel and you like what I do, likes and comments are greatly appreciated. And if you haven't done so, do subscribe to stay up to date with the content. And just a massive thanks to all of the Patreon and YouTube members who do support. As for subclassing and how the system works, the system comes with update 46, a base game system. In order to access it, you have two choices. You can go into the Crown store and go up to the store and look for the quest starters. Over here, you're given a range of different quests that you can do, and you can look for a study in discipline. This will take you to Barthra at Hunding, who's a seasoned adventurer that claims to know how to mix and match different things. Essentially how you access subclassing. If you're unsure how to do this, this is the easiest way to hold your hands, get it done. If you're someone like me who has lots of alt characters, I would suggest pause that for a moment because I've made this mistake on the PTS when I was testing this. And instead, log out and go through every character that you have. It sounds stupid, I know, but bear with me. The reason you do this is that when you log into your character and you access subclassing, the skill lines that you pick are based on the level of your skill within the account. So what that means is that if I have an Arcanist, for example, that has Herald of the Tome, Soldier of Apocrypha, Curative Runeforms, all at level 50, I will then unlock an achievement. And you can see this in your journal down in achievements. And they're all up here. And these are basically your skill lines. And it says once you reach them, you unlock the master for it. What this means is that you can then use the subclassing with the skill line entirely leveled up. So if you're an alt character, the first thing you want to do if you have loads of characters is log out and log into every single character. It sounds stupid, but this will save you a lot of frustration. Because if you don't do it in this order, what can sometimes happen is you have to then re-level the skill line, which is incredibly painful. Once you've gone through every single character, so you've gone through, you've done all of your alts, you've unlocked all of those achievements if you have lots of them already, you can then access the system on any character and you only have to do that first thing once. So now I'm going to log in on my Sorcerer and actually access subclassing with all of my skill lines already maxed, ready to go. This will save you hours and hours of grinding. I did the wrong way before on PTS and it was incredibly painful, so don't make that mistake. Once you have done all of that and you've gone through and you've checked that you've got your achievements, if you have alt characters already, you are then ready to go and access the quest. As shown, you can go to the Crown store and then go to quest starters. The easiest way to find it, in all honesty, is just to come to Bancori. This is in the Daggerfall Covenant. Look for Evermore over here. And you want to pop down the hill and look for the NPC. Once you're down here, she'll then give you a quest. It's a really simple quest. It's just like pushing buttons. She'll allow you to pick a skill line of choice. These are all just like flavor things. And then you get to pick a discipline. For me, I know exactly what I'm going to use on this PvP Sorcerer. I'm going to access the Nightblade skill line and Assassination. We're going to swap this out for our Dark Magic. And we're going to confirm this. What you'll notice is this is level 1. And you might be going, why is this character level 1? Now, it's important to stress that when you come here, if you haven't done these achievements properly, so in the journal, achievements, summary, these will then be linked. And you can check them by scrolling down and looking for your class. So for example, I'll be looking for my Nightblade one. And it is quite a way down. So here it is here. So reach rank 50 in the Nightblade Assassination skill. Once you've done this, you can then obviously speak to the person here. You can complete the quest. Once you've completed the quest, you can then access subclassing free of choice on any character. And she does give you a scroll to use. So then you can change out any of these. You go, I want to go with Adric Spear, get rid of Assassination. What you'll notice is that some of these do still need leveling up if you haven't unlocked them fully. So for that reason, we are going to mess around with some of the Nightblade one, Assassination, and focus on power leveling this because we need this up as soon as we can. So I'm going to keep that scroll just for later, hop over to Grantwood, and my advice at this point will be pick 2 skill lines that you know you're going to use on lots of characters and power level those as quick as you can. You can respec your skill lines at any time you want with a shrine over here. So you can do skill lines, morphs, or skills. Here we're going to go and make sure we have Assassination. We definitely want to use this. This is fantastic. And then another really popular one that you may want to consider is the Warden Animal Companions. This is also really, really good. If you're playing PvE, definitely focus on Assassination. If you're doing PvP, Companions are fantastic. Stormcalling is fantastic. We have this maxed already, and so on. So what I'm now going to do is just switch character, and just to show you that the same process is exactly the same regardless of character. There is a little bit of a grind with this, sadly. There's not much we can do to avoid that. And then we're going to spend like the remaining part of the stream just leveling up stuff, which is a bit tedious, I know, but we are where we are. I'm going to go through and also do the quest starter this way to show this also works. So you've now got the quest, which means you can then go and go to your journal, go to quests, and then you can follow the quest down here. You can show a map, will show you exactly where to go. And then we're going to unlock subclassing on this character, and that's essentially how you unlock it. It's quite an easy way to access. There is a bit of a grind with it. So once we go down, we speak to the same NPC. And then on this one, we can, for example, we want to learn about Arcanists. And then we want to get Herald of the Tome. And we're going to swap this for our siphoning, because that's not really needed. We're also going to, on this character, unlock the Sorcerer ones too. So once this is done, we can then go and grind and just power level, which is a bit tedious, I know. I will put on a leveling build for this to speed it up as best we can and just do what we can to just get these up really fast. So if you're somebody who's mainly PvP like myself, you'll probably notice that it's not as straightforward as like being overpowered straight away because you don't have them maxed. So just be really mindful of that. And we're also going to grab a Sorcerer one because you can mix 2. And for this build, we're actually going to use Dark Magic. So this is going to be like the perfect sniper build that we're going for. So we're going for Shadow, Dark Magic, Herald of the Tome. We now need to set up a way to level really quickly these, which I would recommend having like 2 characters and then just have a set leveling build that you can build to do this quickly. So we're now going to switch over and grab the leveling gear, show you what is like one of the better leveling setups, and just focus on grinding. So I'm going to go back to the Sulk, put on 2 skill lines, level those as quick as I can. And the leveling of this is account bound. So yes, it's a bit of a grind, but once you've done it once, it will work forever. The reason on my Sorcerer is that he is my crafter. So we've got Assassination, and I'm going to level up in addition to this because I don't want other skill lines. The DK ones aren't helpful for most of my builds, neither the Templars, but the Animal Companions is, so we're going to grab that too. The Arcanist was also quite good as well. One thing to note is once you've put this skill line on, if I go through and try to change it, it doesn't let me change things easily unless you've kind of like really leveled up, so it's just a bit clunky. So I'm going to put on my crafter build now and then kind of go through that. But that is like the system in a nutshell. If you get any questions about that, let me know in the comments or in the chat. And then we'll just spend this time just farming, leveling up as quick as we can. So, what is the best leveling set and how do you want to level? There's a few ways to level. The most popular one is Black Rose Prison. Black Rose Prison is a Murkmire. And essentially you get somebody to carry you to power level. This is by far the quickest way to level this stuff up, but it is incredibly expensive because you need someone to help you. For that reason, I wouldn't recommend this. I would personally suggest Sans City engaging in the new content if you like stories. It's pretty interesting. Alternatively, you can go to somewhere like Bankorai, Natalia Ruins, which is where I'm going to go in a moment, and level here. It's fast, it's quick XP, and you can do this by yourself. So with that in mind, that's where we're going to go. For the actual leveling stuff, you want to look for this set. This is a fantastic set. It's called a Vengeance Leech. Now, you can buy it. It might be on one of my other characters though. I have deconstructed it. Bear with me. I might need to remake that. It is a weird set. So we'll go over to a craft house, reconstruct it or buy it if we have to. It is by far the best leveling set for resource sustain. I'm also going to put a poll in the chat just to see what people think of the system. Are you excited or not? So you'll probably notice there's a bit of a grind with this. We are going to pop all the way down hither. Where's the transmutation station? Now, Vengeance Leech is a Cyrodiil set. I might need to buy it if I don't have any to hand. I had it on the PCNA. Down we go. Imperium. Vengeance Leech. So it says when you kill an enemy, you heal and gain magic and resource stamina. This doesn't have a cooldown, which is why this is such a strong set. And I'd recommend getting a lightning staff and just a necklace. I have so many transmutes, I'm going to transmute this time. I'm going to go for precise if I was trying to like kill stuff, but you actually want training for this because you want to try and level quickly. So this is set 1. This is fantastic. It's basically all your sustain fixed. We're also going to go and grab the necklace for this. And this is what I would use personally as like my leveling build because it's easy to get. This is going to be swift. And again, the reason you want swift is because you move quickly. The quicker you move, the quicker you kill stuff, the quicker you can get around and get XP. We're then going to, I'll put this on this character here. Vengeance Leech. Just look for the staff. It's up here, sorry. Fountain Staff of Vengeance Leech. So what you want to now do is you now want to get another set called Heartland Conqueror, because we're trying to push the XP game, basically. And this is a crafted set. So we're going to craft this. And I want to look for medium armor. Medium is typically better for like power leveling because of crit. So there's my clothing. Now Heartland Conqueror is a DLC set. This set will increase your weapon trait, so basically our experience, because we get training, by 100%. So it turns it from 7 to 14%, which is quite a big boost. You know, it's almost as, you know, it's like having a scroll. So we're going to create lots of this. I'm going to go for medium. Any style, it doesn't really matter what you want. And we'll go for divines. So we're going to go for the jerkin, sorry. The feet. The hands. The legs. The waist. Now we'll upgrade this in a moment. So what we're trying to do, there should be training, by the way. I hit the wrong trait. Let me change that quickly. Heartland Conqueror. Creation. It's very easy to put the wrong thing on. You want training on all of these, sorry. So by doing this, you just get a massive amount of bonus XP, and then you can carry this across to like different characters or different things you want to level up. There you go. So that's 7% there, 14% there, 21. We can upgrade these further. So you'll see that this is also jumped up now to 18%. By doing this setup, you basically have space for a full monster set. So if we look at our superstar now, we have one piece here, one piece here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, which means you can't get a full 5-piece set. So you're better going with a monster set and just 2 pieces, or like a mythic, because our sustain is all fixed by our sets. I'm going to pair this with another back bar set that's crafted again, and I'm trying to go for sets that are easy to get. Like, you can buy a lot of this stuff, but if you've got a craft, it's just so much simpler. We're going to go for a set called Mechanical Acuity. This is a really good set to just farm and power level. And what we're going to do for this one is we're going to create some jewelry and some weapons. So if we look at our superstar again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus a mythic. Adrian says, what's my favourite subclass? Nightblade is by far, for PvP and PvE, the strongest. Like, there is like no doubt between the two. Now, when you do your jewelry, Swift is the best for this, because you're going to kill stuff quickly anyway. So you want to just get around as quick as you can to kill stuff fast. And make sure you pick the right set, because it's very easy to pick the wrong set. So we need a ring for this. And then we're going to upgrade all of these things now, okay? And then my favourite subclass, I think, is For like efficiency, assassination is by far the most practical. For actual like fun and ease of play, dark magic actually is quite good. It works really well on gank builds. We're just going to grab some more mechanical acuity. And for simplicity, I'm going with all medium armor again on this. So training. So I'll show you the power of like this setup with what we're doing, because it gives us a lot of extra XP gain, but also speed. We'll change this to acuity. And then the last we need to make is a staff, the back bar. The reason I would recommend a staff is because they're easier to use, personally. I will do a superstar of this setup that I'm using, just so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to go for like a lightning staff because I can do all of the elements. This procs it really easily. You can go with training, but you're not often going to kill things on the back bar. It's just there to proc stuff. So you could go infused and then put on like a damage glyph, which will really help. I'm personally going to keep the training just for simplicity. So we're going to improve that. And then we'll just go and basic power level. And this armor set I can chuck on any class I want. Now, do you need to use these sets? No, but this is what I find is the easiest to let me just grind and just not think about what I'm doing. Loads of sustain, just loads of damage. It's quite simple, actually. What are your guys' favourite combos? Like, you've probably seen a lot on YouTube from like Skinny Cheeks and stuff. I've done a lot of PvP stuff. Do you guys have like I'm really interested in trying the Repentance with my Necromancer, which, by the way, is actually really fun. Like, it's a really, really fun combo. So if people have joined, by the way, what we're doing is I've gone through and shown at the start of the video how to access the system, how to get your achievements, and then kind of the fact that you still need to level up the skills. So what we're now doing is making a leveling setup that's easy to get, highly effective. And what's really good about this setup is that it gives you pretty much infinite sustain. So we are like trying to maximize all of this as much as we can. And then we'll then go and just go kill stuff. The one thing that's really useful with this is you're able to go and use all your weapon skills that are still maxed. And you also have your scribing. So this combined means you can still have decent damage even if you don't have the skills leveled, like the passives and stuff from the other skill lines. I would like stress so that there is a bit of a grind for the first couple of skills that you really want. So the superstar now, for people curious, looks like this. And we're going to put on the acuity on the back bar. There's our 4 and a 5. On the front bar we have our Vengeance Leech. We then have space for a mythic of choice. Marken, Harpooner's Wading Kit's fantastic. Ideally, if you have it, which I'm going to put on here, is Thracian Stranglers. So let me go to find my bank quickly. So we're really trying to maximize our damage. Then we go for training. As you can see, I've made a training build already. We'll drop that off. And we just need to make another pair of Heartland. So just Heartland ring and we're good to go. So I know like the first part takes a bit of time to set this up, if you want to like follow me what I'm doing. If you're on PC console, sorry, you could ask someone to make this ahead of time. So go with Swift again. Because again, we're just improving our speed. Our damage will be carried by like glyphs and stuff. Be carried by our crit chance, by our stranglers. And basically the aim of this build is just to go around and blow things up. Like really fast. Okay, we're pretty much there. I'm going to buy glyphs because I don't like crafting them. They do take a bit annoying to do. Adrian says he wants to stack crit damage on a Warden. Crit builds are really good. Like they're really, really good. And especially that you can stack like animal companions with the Nightblade Assassination, because you get the hemorrhage passive in there, which is 10% crit damage. What I would then suggest is basically just pick a thing to stack, so either like Magicka or Stamina. I'm going to go Magicka because that's generally what I use for my stuff. Get some glyphs. If you want to save a bit of money, you can go purple. There's not a big difference. Gold obviously costs a bit more. And we can get obviously armor pieces. You'll find that for the first like couple weeks, glyphs will be really expensive. 1, 2, 3. Money so much isn't that much of an issue for myself. That's a big job. I'm not going to pay double the price though. So I'll just see if I can find one a bit cheaper here. There we go. Okay. So we got our glyphs on now. Boop, 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 boop. So the idea of this build base is that we turn on the acuity to get that bonus damage. And then we get all the sustain from the Vengeance Leech as we kill stuff. We need a damage glyph, which is an weapon glyph. What's it called? I thought it was just damage. There's a glyph you can get that increases damage. It's called a Berserk glyph. Oh, it's someone jewelry, weapon glyph. That would explain. I thought it was going mad. There it is. 90k. Go mad. This one here. And we're going to get some spell damage next. And then we're pretty much good for like the stuff. There's magical harm. Oh no, I'm not paying 35k. Whew. That's a bit more like it. If you want more sustain, you can add on more sustain. Where's my Heartland ring? There we go. Got all our swift, all our damage here. Grab my Berserk glyph. I don't think I bought it, did I? I thought I bought it, but oh, it's just come through now. So you'll put this in the back bar because this will auto prep from your AoE. And on the front bar, just use whatever you want. Absorb glyph. Stamina is quite decent because you need the stam to sprint. And then, yeah, we're pretty good now. So what we've created, if people are curious, is, in my opinion, one of the better leveling ones, apart from our CP. Which we're going to fix quickly here. These are all like just generic stuff. Breathing Blows, if you want a bit of healing, you don't need it though with this set. So we're going to take that one off. And then you can go for Weapons Expert's quite decent. Exploiter, it's not bad. You set off balance a lot. Force of Nature's not bad. You've got obviously single target. We are going to use mainly AoE for this though. So we're going to stack our AoE damage. And we'll also increase our fighting finesse because we want this instead of backstabber. Only because we're killing trash. Now, if you're worried about like mixing your damage types, Untamed Aggression is quite a good one. Yep. So we use Bison Aura for AoE damage, Master Arms for direct damage, and then Deadly Aim for whatever you want. Now, you could use the Arcanist Beam, which we know is really OP for this kind of stuff, but I'm going to kind of level up the skills I actually need, so I'm trying to build around that. Getting these ones here, when you kill stuff, you get resources back, is really useful. So we're going to drop the health. We don't need the health. And then for the green ones, you do want Steed's Blessing. That's really important. So I'm going to save this build now as a like leveling thing. I can delete that. And we'll see if I can find a good icon for it. I'm going to like experience, or that says experience. This one here is saying experience to me. I don't know, it's probably not, but that's what that looks like most to me. Okay, and then we're going to save this build. This will save your skill lines that we've put in there too. So we're now going to go and put on our subclassing skills that we want to actually level up. So for this one, I want to be leveling up. Drop the Daedric Summoning. You don't really need pets. Drop the Dark Magic. And I really want to grab from the Nightblade, because I'm going to use this on a lot of classes, the Assassination. This is really good. So drop Dark Magic for this one. And then we're also going to drop and grab maybe from the Arcanist Herald, the Tome for the Beam, or the Warden. I'm going to go with the Warden personally, I prefer this. So also go skill lines, subclassing, grab the Warden Animal Companions, and get rid of our Daedric Summoning. We don't need that. So by doing this, we have now the ability to switch our skills to level them up, because these are going to start at 1, which is like really low. You have to keep a class 1, sadly. If you want to save yourself some gold when you do this, you can go and reset before you reset all your stuff. I don't think it's needed. I've got all my points in crafting. So for example, I could go down here and take out all my points from the crafting stuff, which I would suggest doing. Only because you are going to burn through skill points very fast doing this system. Every skill costs 2 skill points. So you need an absolute bucket load to actually like use it. So just do factor that in. Junebug says, I think he's going to try Assassin, Stormcalling, and DK as my first. The Assassin's great. Stormcalling's decent. What DK line are you going to use? That's the one I'm interested in. So I'm just grabbing all these skill points so we can just mess around and do what we want, okay? We've got 91 skill points. That's probably more than enough. And then what we want to basically have is just AoE damage. So a really good AoE skill you can use is Elemental Blockade. And you can morph this and go for the Unstable Wall of Elements and just spam this. It becomes an AoE spammable. And what's nice is when you kill stuff with this, you also get resources back because of this passive. So again, we're just really stacking that we can just spam skills. Put an Inner Light, and I'm just going to put on loads of damage boosts. So I think we're pretty much there with what I want to do, just to like speed this up when I actually get going. Lightning splash is going to go in the back bar. And then when we get to this scorch, which unlocks really quick, we can just use this as the spammable skill, essentially. So we would literally just basically do that, and it just blows up. And we've got the steed for more speed. I'm going to pop on over now to a leveling spot, Natalia Ruins. They have spiders here, really easy to kill. You can make money from doing this. Other good spots are the Crimson Cove in Malabator. If you're trying to get money with this, in Malabator, the Crimson Cove, you actually get gold when you kill the enemies. So it's actually quite a good amount of money. It's about 30,000 or 40,000 gold an hour, which is not a lot, but if you're having to level up skills, and you might as well get some money in the process. And here's obviously slightly quicker. And then we're going to put on an ultimate. Let's go with... And I'll morph that I do into Deathstroke as soon as we can. Elemental Rage, have that follow us around. So when you're doing this here, you want to basically pull all the trash into the middle, and then when you kill them, you'll get tons of resources back. I can't see the health bars. Let me just change that quickly. They've changed my settings. That was 75,000 experience there. And you will see that these skill lines have like barely moved. They're going to take absolutely ages to level. Just looking for health bars. Nameplates. There we go. Oh, I don't want to see the nameplate there. That's annoying. There. And then, as we basically just move around, we'll just kill stuff. Oh, I just want to put a potion on because it's bugging me looking at that. Just put on trash. There you go. So once we get our skills leveled up, we're able to kill things really quick. Because we're like building around Deep Fissure. So the idea is we pull them all together in a big group. That's that group dead. And then you will literally just move them around, grinding XP. Now you can add on a scroll for this, or you can use like XP potions. Again, that's that group. There's 85,000 XP there. So this is a really good way to get XP, and it's really easy. And what you'll see is that because we're using Stranglers, our damage scale is really high. And so it's about just pulling the big groups together. That's another 45,000 XP. So to level these skill lines will take a bit of time, sadly. But this is like the cheapest way to do this yourself. So we've done a couple loops, and these take ages to level. Now I'm going to put one of these on, okay? So you can see that that's what the XP is like. We're now going to have to make sure we got one of these slotted to get the XP. So we're going to keep one of these slotted each. We'll drop that there. So, one sec, throwback. Look at the little birdies go. So dive can be morphed. Strike can be morphed. So you see they've gone to level 9 already. And that's all because of, like, we've got so much XP gain. Throwback says, don't you think equipped skill to level those? Just turn the quest and it took to level 9. Should be level pretty quick. Also queuing for daily dungeon. So I did one pull and I got level 9 instantly. We're going to go for Deep Fisher because Deep Fisher is amazing. And this is why I chose Animal Companions. Because you can literally just pull them and get the massive group here. I might go to Crimson Cove to get some money as well. Grab this group here, that's 55k XP. But again, that was 90k XP throwback. So if you look at my daily dungeon XP, and yes, I got Enlightenment on, but that will go very quick. If I did Activity Finder daily dungeon, do random, I'm going to get 200k XP. That was 90k in that little group there. This is like significantly faster doing this. Deep Fisher. He is like, yeah, it's actually crazy. This is honestly, this is like one of the best places to level up because it's quiet. Not many people know about this. It's easy to do by yourself. Again, that was 30,000 XP then. Scorch is max level already. This pull here is normally with like Enlightenment around about 100k. It's like, this is like one of the big ones. And this is without a scroll, by the way. I'm gonna put a scroll in a second, just to like so you can see the XP numbers. So that was 95,000 XP. Just that bit there alone. This is a really good way to farm XP. But these are level 14 already. I've only just started doing these. What I'm going to now do is I'm actually going to put on a scroll. Because as much as it is to like fun to go and level up, yeah, I wanted to make this really quick. You'll also notice with this setup, we have like loads of spell damage. And because of what we do, we have infinite sustain. This is infinite sustain, infinite healing. This set's phenomenally good. If you look at the like healing done, it's just so much magic, so much health. It's just ridiculous. Robert says, I was thinking of going Storm Calling, Gravelord, and Animal Companion for crazy AoE build too. I'm just going to grab my ally, which is the banker. Literally, the banker is like such a useful thing. Come up, Mr. Banker. You can also use a companion to level them up too. We want experience. You can use potions too. 150, take one of those, thank you very much. And so this is now going to be with a potion, with a scroll too. Because why not? Is it slottable? I've got so many different stuff. Oh no, okay. And then yeah, we're going to get going. So all you're doing is literally tapping these. Click across. Grab these. So, is it the most fun gameplay? I'm going to say no, in all honesty. Is it quick and efficient? Yes, very. That's 67k XP. There's a couple there. Robert says, how is Infinite Archive compared to this? Infinite Archive is a lot less. Because it's all to do with monster density. So XP in this game is calculated based on the number of monsters, because each monster has the same XP pretty much. There's very few exceptions to that. So you just need to have somewhere where there's tons of monsters. That was 140,000 XP. So, and because of what we're doing, you get so much sustain, so you can just focus on moving around. $52k XP there. This will be a big one. And bear in mind, I'm not even using any ults. That was 150,000 XP. So these are on... They're still going. Still going. 20. Level 20. I'll take that. So like, is this the... And you know you're doing a good time when they don't respawn. So don't get worried if you go like, oh, I'm not killing them quick enough. Because here, these haven't respawned yet. Now they are. Robert says that's incredibly fast. This is where I used to level all my characters. It's easy to do. It's like really slept on. And that's 52k XP there. So you can burn through Enlightenment. When I was on, I went from PC EU to PC NA doing this method. And I went by myself solo from level 1 to 160 CP. So level 1 character. Then through all the CP levels in about 5 hours. In an XP event. Would you guys like me to show you a similar route, but where you can get Fighter's Guild leveled up? So if you go, oh, actually I need to get my Fighter's Guild doing, I can show you another place similar to this. XP is not as good, but it's not far off. Robert's like, yes, please. What I did once I've done this loop, because I don't really care about the scrolls. I got loads of those in the bank. Beats Dolman grinding for sure. Oh yeah, 100%. What I'm going to do, because I'm going to be a bit cheeky here. If you're doing this and you've got spare skills to level up, just grab one of these and just chuck it on the bar. Because I might as well level up my sword and shield whilst I'm doing this. Like, there's no reason not to. And I'm probably going to level up my two-hander too, because why not? So, yeah. Robert said, Dolman grinding kills my soul. The next spot, which in all honesty is slept on, is over in Rivenspire. Now you're looking for a place called Hoarfrost Downs, which is a wage run, and it's by Mora's Hope, which is down here. If you don't have this wage run, you normally spawn in here, and you just run north east. This is the closest one. This place normally has a few people because it's quite a popular spot. But the reason why it's really good is because it's all zombies, which means every kill increases your Fighter's Guild. If you haven't leveled a Fighter's Guild, really, really good spot. If you're leveling up, what's really nice is you get the Mage Guild here, so you can join the Mage Guild if you've got a new character. You can also pick up the Fighter's Guild over here if you've got a new character, which is like really nice. And then you go up the hill. And as most characters, in all honesty, are PvE and would use Magicka, you also have a Mundus on the left, which happens to be the regeneration one. So this is like one of the best leveling spots early. And again, it's empty. So up here, you got the Achinok Mundus. For this loop, what you want to do is you want to start on the left over here. And you pull the ads like this. And then you kind of kill them in this spot here. Once you've killed that group there, you grab this ad here. Grab these three in it. There's in the house, you have to do a jump over the wall. Grab these in. Now this is where it's a little bit awkward. If you move and pull them to the side, and then pull them back into the middle here, you can kill everything. And what's great about this area is because they're undead, you get loads of ult gen from the Fighters Guild. Also, if you're doing this on a Nightblade like I am, slot your Deathstroke and then get the Soul Harvest morph, which will let you essentially... Let me just change that quickly to... I'm going to use Concealed more. Which will let you get more ult gen when you kill stuff. Once you've done that group there, you go to the house here, kill him here, kill him here, behind the back, and you just kill them over here. Okay, that's 50k XP, that little pool. And you're back to the beginning. Let's kill this group here, group here, group here. Again, that was 30k XP there. And then we're waiting for them to respawn. Grab the one here. The ones in the middle you can leave because they kind of aggro on you anyway. Okay, that was 90,000 XP there. So you might notice there'll be the odd one or two that runs off, and I don't worry about that because that's not going to affect my time to kill. If you've done your Fighters Guild, I would suggest getting Banish the Wicked. It's free ult gen. It's really, really good. You do need to slot one of these skills. So just do factor that in. So like Dawnbreaker is quite good if you don't have the Nightblade Deathstroke. I'm going to slot this just to level it up. And I'm going to get rid of the... that one because I don't really need that one at this moment because I've got the ult here doing it for me. So again, what we're trying to do is just maximize everything to make this as quick as possible. Shut down the AoEs. And then what you can do is, which is quite naughty, put on the ult on the back bar. Because you can basically cast it. When you get your Deathstroke on the front bar, you get loads of ult gen back. So I can morph this now, and I will morph this to... you want Soul Harvest? This is more ult gen, this is really nice. And then when you kill this, look, I've got 200 ult already. Like, when you combine the two, your ult resource gain is absolutely ridiculous. $300 ult, 340 ult. So I've got my ult ready to use, and I can basically just use it on giant groups. Because Soul Harvest gives you ult per kill. So it's 7 ult per kill, and it goes up the higher it's leveled. What you can do if you get good is you can pull these ones here and then do it over here, but you have to run back to this spot. That's them dead. So they'll spawn back in a second. So you can tell that we are doing a little too quick for here. Per says, why don't I use those? They're all dead. I got 120 ult back from that. That's why, Per. When you're using Soul Harvest for this kind of thing, it is way better. And this one will get you Fighter's Guild. It is slower than the spiders. When I've tested this area, like both areas, through about probably 15 characters total, and I found that this is about 25% slower on average. That said, you don't have to do any Fighter's Guild leveling because it's maxed. So if you level 1 through 50 here, you will have max Fighter's Guild and all your skills leveled up. So we're using the Soul Harvest just to get the bonus ult gen to speed up the other skill lines. Now, if you want, you could do this on a Night Blade in theory, and then just go between every single skill line, because you'd always have Soul Harvest. So look, I've killed all that, and I've got 114 ult straight away, and I've just used my ult. So that's this area. Do you guys want to see an area where you can always get money whilst you do this? So they go, actually, I want a bit of gold. I don't want the Fighter's Guild, I just want a bit of gold and decent XP still. So I can show you a different place. But yeah, we've already got these at level 27 already. Which is very good. Yeah, I've had this on for 13 minutes and we have got an awful lot of experience. There's 97k XP there. So the spiders was about 150, so you can tell like there's a difference. I'm going to go and show you a different place just where you can get money this time. Because I appreciate that if you're going to do this for a lot of skill lines, you probably want something out of it. So I would go over to Malabator. It's a bit of a pig to get to. Like not many people come here. You want to look for this way shrine. Draw a ball. And this way shrine will let you go and get closest to where we're trying to get to. So hopefully this gives you some ideas of like how you can do this if you're solo. Like maybe you don't have money to do Skyreach. Maybe you don't have money to do Black Rose Prison. These are 3 options that are easy to do. The gear I'm using, if you look at the Superstar, very simple to get. You don't need the Stranglers. They're nice to have though. Vengeance you can buy, it's dirt cheap. Acuity's crafted, Heartland's crafted. So I've tried to pick stuff that's like easy to get, but it's going to be effective. I've gone down the wrong path. Bear with me one sec. I'm going to put on a concealed weapon on the battle bar before I forget. Yeah, because it gives us our movement speed. So yeah, when you get here, you want to go to the left. Like, don't follow the road. Because we're trying to get to the Crimson Cove, which is up here. Now you'll find the way shrine that I went to is where most people go, simply because they have the vendor there. And you'd normally run towards the west. This one is one of the more annoying ones to get to, in all honesty. But what's nice about this one is that everything that drops is gold. Like, it is just loads of money. And if you're going to be doing this for 3, 4, 5 hours, possibly, you can make yourself a bit of cash. And what's really good with like these sets that we use, you see we're really low on stamina. If we kill something, our stamina will go up like through the roof really quick. Per kill is actually really silly. So look, we've got some stuff here. We've got 11,000 by just killing those 2 things. So you can obviously see how quick we can get our resources back with this build. And that's the same with health as well, pretty much. One thing you might want to do, which is also worth considering, if you're farming this much XP, look at any lead that you're after. If you're doing like antiquities, it's a good way to kind of intersperse what you need to do anyway. Like, oh, I need to farm for this mythic, especially if it's like an overland boss or like a public dungeon like this. This is like the easiest dungeon to do though, in my opinion. So when you get here, and there's already a person here, you want to pull this big group, so massive circle here. He's killed part of the group already. And then that was 70 gold already. Doesn't sound like a lot. You can pull this group up here, which they do follow you to here. And then you grab this big group here. And I normally pull the group. The guy seems to have a different route to me, which I don't like, because I normally pull this massive group here then. You then move up here, grab this group, grab this group, grab up here, and if you can, get the group up here, and then pop back, and kill them all here. You always get a little mini boss here. That was 90k and that's 100 gold. And obviously 100 gold doesn't sound a lot, but if you're getting 100 gold per pack and you're killing 5, 6, 7 packs, that's 500, 600 gold a route. Do it 10 times, that's 5 grand. Once you drop down here, you've got a massive group, so just be careful. It's very easy to kill yourself here. Boss dude over there. Group you can grab here. Group there, pull them all into here. Oh. You'll notice that this one is a bit more riskier. Oh, so that was 100,000 XP, that was. So I've deliberately gone for like just a very simple 1-button build. That's 500 gold. That little group. And through in here, there's a boss in here you can grab if you want. He's got a different route to me. Another 30 gold. So that's like the one for gold. And you make roughly about 2,000 per lap. So this is the big group, which I can actually grab this time and show you. So you grab all of these in a circle, And there is a lot of stuff down here to pull. And you want to kill him just here. It's good XP, it's good money. That was 140k XP and 400 gold. And you just move up the hill into this little group that we had here, do you remember? Grab the group up there if you can. I know you know where to jump, and then you have to go back to the middle. That was another 200 gold. If you lead the odd 1 or 2, it doesn't matter, just skip them. It's not worth the time to fight the 1 or 2 than it is losing the XP. Drop down and you find that these have respawned. Just note, obviously, because of this, it is a bigger group. So I've killed those, and I've already got my ult ready to use again. Look, I can use my ult on the next room. So that's why we use Soul Harvest. For that reason. So that group here hasn't respawned yet. Because of the speed we're doing it. There they are. And we're going to push up and see if the group up here has respawned. As you can tell, this is more contested, this area. $200 gold there. So hopefully this gives you some ideas of ways you can get XP by yourself solo. And you can either choose to get money, or you can choose to go get fighter skilled XP, or you can go choose to go and just like focus on XP with the spiders, which is like the quickest XP. But this is XP and money. The more is Hope one is XP and Fighters Guild, and the first one was just like more XP. It's not as good as Black Rose, but it's not far off. As you can see, like the XP here is really high. So that was 100,000 XP. 300 gold. And if you're by yourself and there's nobody else here, you get all the money because you've got like more of the kills. $37 gold. We'll do one more loop and then I'll switch back to the spider, so I think it's better personally. Well, that's my deep fish already maxed. So that was 125k XP. We're going to go back to spiders, but since doing this, we have level 30 on our skills already. I would suggest, as you do this, by the way, sounds silly, but level up the other skills. So like, for example, we're using Soul Harvest. When this is max, I'm going to put on Concealed Weapon again, because I want to make sure that these are maxed and like morphed, if that makes sense. So my deep fish is already maxed. I'm going to put this on the back bar, and I'll put on the Betty on the front bar, so I will use that. So we're going to go back to spiders. What do you think though of these little farms? Do you find the farms useful or not? I've just put a poll up about the little routes that I've done. So yeah, is this something you go, actually this is like really useful? Because this is solo, like you can do this when you don't have a friend on. You don't need to be the best player for this. I hate all the stupid little spiders around here. That was 80k XP there. That's mad. Now, ideally, if you want to go like more busted, yeah, use reverse slash, and then use the other morph. It's really good because you can spam it and it cleaves and it executes. Really, really good. Axelon says he's still partial to Black Rose. I put a scroll on halfway through, but when I was doing it without the scroll, it was about 80k a pull. What's really nice about this one, by the way, and yes, I could change my spammable, which I probably should, I've just been lazy. What's nice about this place is that there's a vendor. So if you're going, oh no, I need to repair my armor and I don't carry repair kits, because I don't personally, you can go to the Sunken Road, which is just around the corner, and there's a merchant tucked right inside on the left. Look, here he is. There she is. Oh. Repair all. Because if your armor's broken, you do lose your XP gain. So then that way our armor's now good to go. And then like we've got these up to like pretty much 31 and 30. And we've been doing this for about an hour and a half. Probably less than that actually, about an hour. Yeah, an hour and 12 minutes, bear in mind. Most of that we spent just making the build and stuff. So you're probably going to spend about 2.5, 3 hours I reckon total to do 2 skill lines with like these routes. Which I don't think is too bad. It is only once. Put the ult down, everything goes pop. There you go. That was 120k XP. That was absolutely gnarly, that is. Now what I'm going to do, because I want to go and make this faster, is I'm going to go make a pool now. Because obviously we've shown obviously that you can just do this with base stuff. But we're going to add some scribe skills in that you can do on any class. So we go to the Scholarium, see if I can make what I'm after. I want to get the pull skill. So the contingency, and I think I have it on this character, but I might not. If I don't, I'm just going to skip it because I'm not going to, you know, try and find a script. Do I have rested XP too? I don't have rested XP. I've got the event XP. I've got training, if that's what you mean. I'm on PC EU, Axelon. Do I have Paul? I don't. It's in the Soul Burst. I do have Paul, sweet. After 2 seconds, Paul enemies within 8 meters. It's not as big as I was like. I don't think this has Paul, does it? Nah, it's just done. And there's Bond. You can't put. I'm looking for like an auto pull. I think it is literally just a Soul Burst, which is what I was thinking of. We are going to put on some Banner Bearer and get some shenanigans going here. Because I want to get more like damage. So let's get courage. Let's get Cavalier's charge for more damage. And then let's get shock for more damage still. I'm gonna probably go the snares. I'll go that actually. Because then immobilize, you've got uses of health, and I don't mess around with that, it's just annoying. But I want to put that instead of that. And I'll probably drop that one. Soul Burst. Or I'm looking for like things that are fast. That's just AoE damage, that's gonna be useful. We got Expedition already. Go with the crits. I'll probably drop that. Okay. We're gonna go back to where we are now. Yeah, I was hoping the pull was a bit bigger on it. I know you can use like Void Bash and stuff. Grab all this stuff. I don't feel the pool's big enough. Actually, just looking at the radius of it. Yeah, that's not big enough for what I want. I'm gonna drop the banner. The banner's cool in theory. Let's drop the banner. And then, if I can morph the 2H, I'm gonna go for the 2H because it is better for leveling. Not quite. When I can morph that, I'll change it. Okay. Let's go with Impulse, go with Pulsar. That is an AoE that we can spam around us. So I'm just putting the things I had before. Yeah, so what I've chosen is to level up the subclasses that I'm actually going to use on other characters. Okay. Now we're going to go shopping quickly and buy an item. Just getting a trait as well. There you go, Rough Grove, Obsidian. So what I'm doing, I'm buying a different weapon. Just because I'm going to change the actual spammable. The elemental blockative, I think it's unstable elements. The Wall of Elements morph. You used to be able to spam it loads and you just get loads of cleave damage, but they did like nerf it heavily. So what we're going to buy is the one which they haven't nerfed, which I still think is decent. Where's the traders? They are out over here. Bit of a go in it. And then what I'll probably do is, it sounds silly, just keep this and just change the subclass when it hits 50, change the subclass when it hits 50, change the subclass when it hits 50. If you want to like make it more optimal, I would suggest putting this setup on a Nightblade and just keep Soul Harvest on always. because that ult gen really helps you spam ults to get like big kills of groups. It's one of these ones. That's it that I'm looking for. So that one has soul. That's a bit annoying. That sometimes the marketplace doesn't always have the items that are there. Any two-hander will do. That is the only two-hander. Let's have a look for then any trait. I can transmute it. I don't mind doing that. Okay. I'm going to go to Vivek and just buy one and just transmute it quickly. So if you've joined, what we're doing is just leveling up stuff, and I'm just changing an item quick to change the skill line level, but also give me a better spammable. Oh, it's not a vendor. I don't ice have. This set's going to go up in price loads, like in the next couple of weeks, because it's a very, very good set for this kind of stuff. So there's none there. Oh, I'm looking for legendary. That might explain. I was going, why is there none for sale? It's not that rare. There's a bow. That's not terrible. Oh, we're looking for a 2H. Which makes me think where I was a minute ago, probably it does have it for sale, but I had the wrong filter on. Sorry, I'm just playing like find the item that I want. And then when you do this whole leveling stuff, you can put on like regen food if you need more sustain. I don't think you need it with this build. So like we're literally designed just to kill trash. And very, very fast. It was meant to be this one here that had it. There it was. Sweet. So we're going to use this instead, which is good. Oh, I'm just going to check I've got some alloys. Yeah, I've got loads. Blacksmith over there. So what we're going to use as the spammable, sounds a bit silly, on the two-hander line is a reverse slice. This is basically an AoE spammable. It's really good. Like, is it meant to be spammed? No, but you can do it. So that's what we're doing here. I had a skill on my RB, I can't remember what it was. It is a bit late where I am. But yeah, my plan is to try and get these 2 skill lines to 50, so that way, if I do like 2 a night, by the weekend we'd have everything we kind of really need for PvP on like any character. Where's the blacksmith? Woodworking. Blacksmithing. Improvement. I'm going to quickly just put in some upgrades on that. That is like ridiculously expensive. So yeah, so we've almost got that done. So now we can go back to where we were. So we're over where we need to be. Now I'm going to stop some of the others to try and speed this up now, because now that we've got some stuff, I'm going to use this, so that's going to go there too. So the advantage of reverse slice, which sounds really silly, yeah, is that it basically gives you loads and loads of like AoE ability in a spammable. You can just literally spam it. Because it cleaves and the bonus damage scales to the other things nearby. Let me grab some food quick. So yeah, we'll do like some grind now for the next 20 minutes that this scroll has. And then the ones that like are shooting you from the back, just leave them. You can see I've used all my enlightenment up. That group dead. Someone's come to steal my XP spot. Yeah, these spiders are now back. That was 20 odd K there. So you can see that the XP gain compared to like a dungeon is really high because you got, it's about the clearance. My controller's a bit buggered, as you can probably tell. So without the enlightenment, that's still 20 odd K XP, and if you look at the activity finder here for a dungeon, it's 200k. Now if we time how quick I can do a loop, okay? So we're on 51, almost 52. That's 15k already. $26k there. $22k. 13k. So we're back to beginning already. So we've made roughly about 80k XP in that minute and a half, 2 minutes. So if you can do a random dungeon in less than 5 minutes, you're going to be like on equitable to this. And that's assuming that you have no hiccups. And that things go swimmingly. The one thing I also like recommend with this type of thing is because it's actually easier to do because the enemies are like overland mobs, it's okay if you're missing passives. So you might have noticed I haven't been stopping to put my passives in. I've just been running around killing stuff. That was 25k XP there. 26 actually. So, as you kind of see in the route, what do you guys think of this system subclassing? I know it's a bit of a grind, as you can see. But are you like excited for it? Because obviously the grind I do appreciate is pretty tedious, I'm not going to lie. There's another 30k there. Whew. This is also good like XP for your CP if you need to level up your CP. I'm just going to kill this here just to quickly get the kill his blade morph. There we go, that's like the one I actually want to use. I'm going to level up probably the Blue Betty. Stocy, I think it's pronounced, is asking, are subclassing builds and Oaken Soul compatible? The answer is yes. Subclassing makes them better, in my opinion. I don't know if you had a chance to tune into my stream on the weekend, but basically I was literally doing just that. And from what we saw, like I was deliberately trying this unsteady. I was trying to go, can I make the Oaken Soul 1-bar build feel like the class, but just enhance it with a few tweaks, rather than going, everybody run like Assassination, for example. Adrian says he thinks ball groups need balancing with subclass. Yes. 1-bar ganking's like definitely a thing this patch. It is better in my opinion with Sorcerer. So I would personally, if you're going to make a ganker, go with a Sorcerer, because you've got their class mastery, which is by far the best one for like ganking, because it's bonus damage, which means the Sundering Soul or Shocking Soul is the highest spammable you can get in the game. That's 37, that's getting there. Yeah, Adrian, why do you think ball groups need balancing with subclassing? Compared to like what they can already do, if that makes sense. I'm gonna use that scroll that I got. On Eye of the Storm. I did pick the wrong morph. I want the one that follows me around. Because it's a bit easier to kill stuff with it. These were leveling up by 2 and also in this, so Overcloud, eh? So just pull this big group here again. Alright. Yeah, I do it. Oh. Yeah, it's fine. Adrian says strong cross hills, and then you obviously had subclass, and is it going to get worse? Kind of. I kind of disagree. I don't think it's going to get worse than it is. Personally, I think actually, from what I've seen and tested, most non-ball groups are going to benefit more. Because one of the issues that ball groups, or one of the issues people have against ball groups, is they can't do enough burst damage to the group to counter the healing. Whereas now, what you have is you can stack 2 or 3 burst skills at once. And so, traditionally, if you went to try to fight a ball group, you'd use like Deep Fisher, Dawnbreaker, and Spin to Win, and you hope you get enough burst to get a kill. You might have Fisher's Death to try and get a chain reaction if you can. But you can't always guarantee on that. Whereas now, what you can do is, in the same combo, have like Crystal Weapon already procced in the battle bar. You can go and have Blast Bones if you want with it. You could also add in the Herald of the Tome Expert Treatise, and so it gives more like normal classes more burst, and as a result they can counter heals. The cross healing's still going to be there. You also run into an issue with bar space on cross heals. Healers are going to be stronger, yes, because they can run more cross heals now. What's this on now? 46. 39. That's it. I would like Zos to add an XP event for like the first week. Because obviously having to do this for every thing, little annoying, not gonna lie. For every skill line. They're maxed. Jackson says I used this spot years. Yeah, this is a great spot. Easy to do, put on some music, stream, do something else. And just kill spiders and yeah. If you don't like spiders, this is probably not for you. That's 33k XP. This is by far quicker than dungeons. The only downside is you don't actually get anything good other than XP. And you can do this with a partner. You actually get more XP if you do this with a partner. The 30, 40 is getting there. It is definitely getting there. Jackson says he's thinking about doing an unconventional elemental build. But they're not spawned back yet. Getting a bit quick, as you can tell. The idea is to run Winter's Embrace, Ardent Flame, and Storm Calling. Hey, you like Frost, Fire, and Ice. I think the stuff you can do is quite cool. People this. What's the base class going to be, Jackson? Because that does actually have quite a big impact on like your class sets. Because obviously with the base class you get the advantage of having like the class mastery, which actually is quite useful. So like, are you going to go Sorcerer class mastery to have Wield Soul and actually be... That's quite a good class mastery. Think about starting as Warden. Yeah, Warden's good. Warden class mastery is really, really good. Especially on Oaken Soul builds. Like, if you're going to run an Oaken Soul build and you were going to run a Warden skill line, be a Warden. But the only reason not to do it, in all honesty, is if it's going to go against with what you're trying to do, or you need 2 skills from one class, then you don't have a choice. But if you're mixing 3 different classes with a bit of Warden in there, Warden based class mastery is fantastic. Like, it's literally a snare, a stun, and a resource sustain skill in one. So we'll use our scroll up. $24K. So my LB on my controller is a bit buggered, as you might have noticed a few times tonight. Where I've gone to push something and it doesn't fire because the LB doesn't work. So if you look, you hear me pushing it? Doesn't register though. I have to push it really hard in a really weird angle to make it work. I have ordered a new controller, but it's on a plane somewhere from China. So yeah, it's gonna be a little while. I'm gonna do the check where we are. Sorry about this. I got a... So I went to push my ult there and then didn't fire because of the bloody controller. I have tested loads of this on PTS, like ridiculous amount. So yeah, we've with that one scroll, bear in mind we've gone to loads of different places. We've got to Assassination 42 and an Animal Companions 38. So it's probably going to be about 2 hours to get these max total, which I think is pretty decent when, you know, to get 2 skill lines and you do it once, like it is one and done. Or we can get Grim Focus. I'm going to level that max first and then I'll get Grim Focus. We will definitely use that skill. Betty's almost done. Swiftness we will use. Jackson says his goal was to go for more off-meta themed builds. I think that's kind of, you know, what I want to do. I did loads of builds back in the day per se, where I just basically ran really weird stuff, like really, really weird stuff. And what was good with it is that the builds were like viable, but they were so like bizarre that they were fun to play. Because I could make a build video on any class and go, look, Rallying Cry, Wretched Vitality, add in Master Lock, and in One Piece Trainee. For good measure, put in Death Dealer's Feet, and then voila, you've got super OP build. And it's really boring. Like for me personally, I find that incredibly stale. And so I would rather go, what can I do that's a bit out there, a bit kind of wacky per se, but still effective. And like the key bit, it has to be effective and like viable. This point is running something just for the sake of it, which is not going to work. Adrian says Warden Beetles with Nightblade Cloak. That does work, by the way. Because it's a delayed burst skill, you can do it. It does pull you out of stealth though when you cast it, so you have to cast it first in that order. Hey, my ult fired this time. Oh, my armor needs repairing. I love that you can self-synergize with Lightning Flood now. It's really, really useful. Like, it's so much AoE damage. We need to repair after this one. You can tell I've been to the spiders a lot because I know where all their spawns are. Oh, he's run off. We're just going to go repair our armor. Yes, like one of the more kind of silly things I've been working on PTS, where you got all the skills maxed, is looking at things like a ranged dot build. So I was running the Animal Companions with the Templars Dawn's Wrath, I think it's called, which is like the Power of the Light and the Vampire's Bane. And then I was pairing it with different like options. So I was trying with the DK Ardent Flame, which the Ardent Flame didn't help it in all honesty. So I felt like I'll probably change it to like Tone Bearer's Inspiration and do Herald of the Tone. Healing back. I have made, which is quite cool actually, a bash build. So it's on the like members section, which I've been testing loads on PTS, and it basically uses bashing but with subclassing to make it even better. And the amount of defense it has compared to like your traditional bash build is ridiculous. Because we heal as we do damage now. We got more burst as well than before, which again is fantastic. And we also have more health, so we're harder to kill, more health, more sustain, more defense. Like, what's not like to like with that? I will have a little look at where we are. I want to try and get 1 to 50, kind of show what happens when you get a skill down to 50. Because obviously it does, you know, like if you're having to do this on every character, this is brutal. So yeah, we're gonna keep pushing. Would you guys be interested in like me? Oh, I'm not gonna say every night because obviously work, family, so on. Yeah, but like to kind of do more of this kind of just grindy, levely stuff because there's stuff that does need to happen. But I need to do this regardless because I need the skills. So is this something that you guys would be interested to see on stream to kind of go, how long did it take total? Talk about stuff generally, or not? Because you know it doesn't bother me. I've got to do it anyway. I feel like somebody's killed these because these are not back quick enough yet. Yeah. I'm going to move on, and I think someone's walked past because we had loads of like just dead corpses. I love the cleave on the reverse slice. It's really, really wide. So we'll grab these ones up here. Another 24k XP. With 30k. That was literally 50k in like 30 seconds between those two balls. Another 15k. Yeah, so we're pulling these round. Get the spiders. Jackson says, you had 2 videos years ago for Mag and Spam advising a set of each a run. These days I've been running 2 offensive sets and choosing one or the other. Yeah, I think back in the day when I made that video, and I know the video you're on about, where I had them color coded, and it was like on a black screen. You had done the like sword and shield icon for the defense, damage, sorry, shield for defense. I think the sustainer had like bars, and I color coded them as well between like I think red was health, blue was magic, and green was stamina. Those were like the colored sets. And I think back then that was, you know, how the build was. You didn't have as much like bonus stuff, but like in the game with the changes to the game with like mythic items being added, scribing, CP rework, all these things combined have actually added a lot more like sustain and defense in different ways. So what ends up happening now is you can push damage so high that your healing goes up with it, so then you don't really need as say a full defense set because your healing is so much higher than it probably ought to be, in my opinion. I never really understood the idea of you've got high damage so you have high healing. It to me just feels weird. So like nowadays what you find is, as you said, two offensive sets, and then maybe a sustain set, or you use like a half and half set. So Rallying Cry is a good example. It's damage, it's defense. And then you also have much more choice with back bar, front bar sets that are like good. So before you like, there wasn't really any sets that you could run on the back bar that you could carry to the front bar easily. Like you had things like Lich, which was great for that. But then now you've got Rage Vitality, which is just a better version and is always active, and it buffs stamina regen. You then have sets like Essence Thief, which is been in the game for a while, but it's a very good set. So I do agree, like, yeah, you do have to build differently nowadays. I still stand by, I don't know if you remember the adjustment box I called it, which was basically a ways you can adjust your build to kind of tweak it. So you, like, if you need to refine around the edges to get something that you want. Uh, 40... Set on 45. Sweet, that's max. I see if I've been working on something similar though that you remind me of, Jackson, that I haven't finished, which is why it's kind of still in the back burner. But I'll see if I can find it. But it was similar to that idea of like, here's a way to build a character. The problem is with the subclass, and I need to like rework a lot of the stuff I was working on. It's a little annoying. So we're grabbing this. I can see that quite a few people like the idea of like this leveling stuff. 46. We're going to go to 50, I think, on assassination, and then we can pause there because it's just late where I am. Probably a couple more laps. So grabbing all of these. You know, like tonight when I finish, I'm gonna go and I'll be dreaming about spiders. Grab all of these. So I hope this gives you an idea of the route. Like, you should have a pretty good gauge of what we're doing now. I've done this a fair bit. That's 22k XP there. That's ridiculous. So I reckon a couple more laps, probably about 5-10 laps, and then we're done. Jackson says he loves any video that's talks about build, like creation, theory crafting. I think for me, what I like is, and this is probably gonna sound a bit odd, but I like the geekiness of it, like the kind of basically, can I min-max it? Can I have this idea and make it as good as I can make it? So like whenever I play a game or something, I always do that. It's like, how efficient can I get this? How optimized can I make it? If it's, you know, Final Fantasy, or if it's Skyrim, or if it's Oblivion remastered, or if it's like, what's the best way to get the most damage? What's the most OP spell? And I do that like naturally. And so like in ESO, that's why I like doing this, because I enjoy like thinking, oh, what could I add to this? Would this be better? Would this be weaker? Would I test stuff out, research stuff, etc., etc. Do you find like just that? Because that's what I'm interested in. Is that group dead? 47, sweet. Oh, we are so close to leveling this up. So close. Yeah, if you guys know of a better farm, by the way, than this, do shout off. I know there's Black Rose, but don't go Black Rose. Well, I know that exists. Yeah, my hope is once these are max leveled, that I won't need to like level up the actual base skill to 5 or 4. Sorry, so the morphed skill, because I'm going to use it anyway, and it will level up over time. I just need to get it to a point where I can morph it, because the other ones would just come as you just generally use the skill. I love being able to have spec bow twice. That's so good. You can see that I've literally gone for like 2 really good PvP skill lines to level up. Yeah, we're going to push to 50 and then probably call it a night there. Trying to min-max a ranged mag blade. Soul Cleaver is fantastic for that. That is a good choice. War Maiden, not too convinced on personally. Yes, the set does benefit from like major and minor sorcery. The problem is though, it doesn't buff your heals. Obviously, I know it's boosting the damage done, so you get more healing from Swallow Soul. I just wonder whether you'd be better with a penetration set. Like using something like Shattered Fate. Because you can also front bar that. You'd end up having more damage done, thus getting more healing out of Swallow Soul. 21. Yeah, on my Silk, by the way, on my PvP Silk, this has a 27,000 tooltip when it's buffed. So literally, you can put it 2 times in a row. You can go resolve. It's 54,000 damage in 2 seconds, and you can chuck and streak in the middle of it. So you can go spec bow, streak, spec bow, and they get stunned and they can't dodge it. So you can see why I'm leveling up this skill first. You're also doing a ranged magblade, Jackson, with the Balrog monster set, which is good if you're using Meteor. If you're not using Meteor, I wouldn't use it. And my sword and shield, they're almost max now, which is great because I can take the skill off and get an extra skill on to level this up even faster. That should be max now, sweet. Let's get our Falcon of Swiftness, because I actually will use that. spec mode. Yeah, I think Shattered Fate is great, and using it on Stand Blade makes so much sense. It also probably depends, Jackson, on what you want to do as well. So like, if it's kind of like an idea that you want to brawl on it. One of the things I found, and correct me if I'm wrong with your Magblade, and it sounds really stupid, Magblade healing's pretty bad, like in my experience, because of the changes to Dark Cloak. You don't really have a good like heal compared to like Warden. If you think of Magicka Warden, you've got Vines, you've got Polar Wind, you've got Vigor, so you've got 3 heals ticking on you all the time. You might have Lotus Blossom as well, so that's 3 to 4 heals. Whereas with a Magblade, you've got Swallow Soul, and then you've only have a burst, so you don't have any good heal over times, so you can't stack them. So something like if you're going to get into more melee range, so I know you said range, but if you're going to get into more melee range using the Scourge Harvester, that's pretty decent. Going for Roseka's good if you use Roseka the Warped, because that gives you loads of sustain, and the sustain's helpful because you can then build more passive damage. If you want to go for a cheaper option where you're not like, always in combat for like the whole, I think it's 24 seconds, you have to be in combat for Roseka to be better, is to use 1 Magma Incarnate and 1 Baron Thrisk. If you did that combo, you end up getting about 250 regen, whereas Roseka's about 300, but that's when Roseka's fully buffed. So there's not a big amount of regen difference, if that makes sense. There is another set I would consider, and it has just slipped my mind, but it was a good set. It will come back to me in a moment. It's Magma Incarnate. Actually using 2-piece Magma, because when you heal yourself, you can get Minor Courage. Because Swallow's Soul heals you, you'll be proccing the Minor Courage like consistently. So you end up having basically just free uptime on Minor Courage, which is free damage. Oh, 1 more skill level to go, guys. So I would probably look into Magma Incarnate personally. It's a really good set. Kind of pairs well with what you're trying to do, especially with the Nightblade set you're using, because obviously boosting the Swallow Soul and stuff. Hey, I can put on another one of these now. I'm never going to use these, so I'm going to put on another Animal Companion. I will use Swarm though. Look at that, I'm out of skill points. If you saw at the start of the stream, we had 97 skill points spare, and we have burnt through 97 skill points. That's actually insane how many skill points you need. So yeah, I won't get Swarm. Using Healing Ward. Swallow Soul, healthy offering. Healing Ward's not a bad shout. If you use Black Rose Prison, it's pretty decent. I'm just going to free some skill points up because they're all locked behind stuff I don't need. Yeah, so looking at my scrolls, by the way, I've used a scroll in a little bit. So it's roughly about 1 hour and 20 minutes doing this method to get a skill line maxed. It's pretty quick. So yeah, I'm not too, quite okay with that. Let's get our points back because we have so many points lost. I'm not going to worry about the passives. But just doing that, that's 24 points. That is like ridiculous how many points that is. So we are going to grab Swarm. Once that can be leveled. Put that there instead. Because at least that way we have it like leveled up. What I think would be quite cool, Jackson, with what you're trying to do, and I did talk about this on stream with my Magical Warden, having a like the old school Magical Warden when you use Harness Magicka. I don't know if you remember that, but back in the day, Magical Warden used to run shields, and so that was quite a cool sort of play. So I felt like a Sulk. You had the shields, you had the healing underneath the shield, so that worked really nicely. Whereas they gutted Harness Magicka, so that wasn't an option anymore. But you could probably use like because the Nightblade has in the siphoning skill now, which you're using, I think it's called Magicka Flood is the passive, which gives you more Magicka. So using that with, let's say, Daedric Summoning, you could then get Hardened Ward instead of as a shield now, which is better. You'd have access to Bound Aegis, which is more Magicka. So you could end up stacking your Magicka really, really high, which will give you damage. You also then have the big shield, and because you're hardened, so your Swallow Soul heals you. Your Swallow Soul heals you when you do damage. Your Swallow Soul will constantly heal you as you're doing damage, which means the shield can just be there to like absorb the big hits, and you're getting all that passive healing, which isn't being reduced by people. And I would probably sound silly, but you could either drop the Assassination skill line if you don't use Spec Bow. You probably are going to run Spec Bow in all honesty, though. Oh, it's close to leveling up. It's close to getting up there. So, I would personally, if I was you, use Siphoning Strikes. So use the Siphoning skill line. Use... Let me just go these quickly. Daedric Summoning with it. Yeah, Harness Magicka got gutted. It used to be really good on Magblade. So back in the day, Harness Magicka used to be about a 10k shield. And this is when people had like 20,000 health. So when you had essentially half your health bar could be covered with a shield. It was good, and it used to like pay for itself. It was fantastic. They absolutely destroyed it. I'm going to go repair my armor once we've done this. With your skills, Jackson, if you happen to know what they are, you've got Shadow. Are you using anything from Shadow, like Cloak? Or you're not really using Cloak on the ranged Magblade? Hey, level 50 Assassination. Whoop. So in theory, what should happen now is when we switch and we get Assassination on another class, it should be leveled with where we are. I'm going to quickly repair my armor. Yeah, so we're going to switch character quickly and just kind of show that we've leveled one up in... We've been on stream for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and the first half an hour, 40 minutes I was messing around, like showing you how to set up the XP farm, setting up the sets. And to get that to 50, it's not bad, I don't think. So we're going to switch character and just see, is the progress tracked? Because it should be, according to the patch notes. And according to the system. But this is Zenimax, we never know them. They always do their own things. So On my... Let's just pick a different character. Let's pick my... Nightblade. He's got it already. Arcanist. Trying to think of something where I might actually use the thing. He would definitely use it. If on a normal build. I'm going to go my Warden. My Warden had it, if I recall. On PCS, my 1-bar bow console build. Had spec bow. You have the teleport, shade skill. You have Lotus fan. So what should happen is now that we've completed it, it should like carry through our stuff. So we're going to go down here and just show like what happens.
Very well. The manipulation of magica. Speaking with the dead.
So if we go down to our Nightblade, you see that's level 50. We go to our Warden. We already are Warden on this. But because we've maxed it out, yeah, on a character now, this is now level 50. And you can see all of our progress where we were is still saved. So that we can go, oh. So then we can literally like go exactly where we were. This is where we were on the other one. So what it means is that you do have to level up every single skill line. Now it's taken about an hour and a half roughly to do almost 2 skills. So what I would suggest doing, like you did with scribing, pick the skills you want to focus on like the most. So for PvP, you're going to use assassination an awful lot, and you're going to use shadow because shadow gives you cloak, assassination gives you spec bow. They're the best 2 from here. From the Warden ones, you are going to, in all honesty, use animal companions. That's fantastic. I would skip Green Balance and go for Winter's Embrace. They're the 2 to target if you're going to pick any Warden skill. On the DK, this is a bit of a mixed bag all over the place. You're not going to pick any for subclass, in my opinion. They're not. None of them are good. The only kind of okay one is Earthen Heart, but all of the passives are like links between each other, so they're a bit awkward to build in and build around. For the Sorcerer, all 3 are fantastic. All 3 of these are like S tier skills to go for. Summoning, huge shield, extra resources, great. Storm Calling, brilliant passives. Damage buff, armor buff, mobility skill, overload, brilliant skill line. Dark magic, crystal weapon, great for ganking. That's about it, really. But really good for gank builds. Nightblade, as I said. Templar doesn't really have much. The Dawn's Wrath's pretty good. That's the only one I'd like target farm. The Restoring Light's like any heal line. It's okay. It's not terrible. It's not great. Spear's very similar again. It's not terrible. It's not great. Necro has really bad skills across the board. The only one you'd really go for is Gravelord for Blast Bones. That is like the decent one. The rest of it's pretty bad. Arcanist, Herald of the Tome is really good. And so is Curative Rune Forms. This is fantastic. The Rune Mend is like a burst heal. When it's sort of like fully leveled up, it's really, really good. Apocrypha's not bad. It's not terrible. It's pretty good if you don't have a stun. But yeah, for me personally, if you're going to like make a new character and farm these skills, get Assassination, get Storm Calling. They are the best 2 in the game, by far. Once you have those, Summoning's great, Animal Companion's great. Then beyond that, you can kind of mix and match from that point onwards. So I'm going to put on the Arcanist one here, Will. A Nightblade one. Get rid of that for the moment. Just to do a silly quest. So hopefully that gives you an idea of like what is really, really good. As he's leveled it up to level 50, what I would suggest doing that is having one character that you're going to just level up what you need. Now, unfortunately, this is the problem. If your character like mine is a sorcerer, you're kind of out of luck. Yeah? Because you go, oh, bugger, I can't level up any salt skills for subclassing. So what I'm going to do, just to like not waste XP, is I'll get my animal companions to 50 as well, and then I will put all of this gear onto a Nightblade. The reason I want a Nightblade is because I want to have access to the alt gen that we're getting from Soul Harvest. This is fantastic, and a Nightblade has this built in always, because you always have to keep one of those class skill lines. Adrian's like, the assassination skill line's broken. It's really not. The most broken skill line, in my opinion, is Stormcalling. That thing is absolutely insane. Like if you look at this as a skill line, so you go Sorcerer, Stormcalling. So let's just have a little preview, okay? We have Boundless Storm. This is your armor buff and major expedition. So it's an armor buff and a movement skill. It does a bit of damage. Crit Surge is your damage buff and it heals you. Anytime you do damage, you get free healing. Streak, it's a mobility skill and it's a stun. Capacitor, loads of recovery. Energize, more damage. Amplitude, more damage than max health. Expert Mage, more damage. You then have Overload, one of the best ranged ults in the game. The only bad thing is Lightning Flood for PvP. This is good in PvE. This is really good in PvE. As you've seen, I've been using it loads. Mage's Fury is a bit mid, in all honesty. But beyond that, this skill line is incredibly good. It's really great in PvP. It's great in PvE because you get all this free damage down here. You get all this free sustain. Daedric Summoning. Really, really good because you got massive shield. You get more max resource. You get damage reduction. You get cheaper ults. You get more resources when your shields and stuff run out. You also get more resources from Bound Armor, and Bound Ages gives you Minor Resolve, always, and Minor Protection. It also gives you 8% max magicka. So it's loads of free damage reduction, plus free resource. You don't need to cast it. Bound Armaments turns that into a damage skill. Fantastic skill. You get Daedric Curse. Fantastic skill. Dark Magic's a bit mid. The only good one here, as I said, is Crystal Shard and maybe Rune Exchange. But like the point is that these two here are so strong for PvP. Like they are like definitely worth getting. The Assassination's only good for PvP because you have Merciless Resolve. That is pretty much it. We are, however, going to change it and go Shadow because I need Cloak. I need Cloak on my snipers. My new sniper, by the way, is going to be a Sorcerer. So just a heads up. If you haven't got you need to level Shadow, and then you got everything else ready to go. So I will be making a Assault Sniper, which you will see very soon. It's going to be very fun. So that's my little rant over Stormcalling. It is really good. So we're going to focus on just getting the animal companions max, and then I will probably call it a night because it's almost midnight where I am and I have work in the morning. I will probably stream tomorrow again if there's interest in it. Shadow went up so bloody quick. Look at that. That was one go, it's level 11 in one pool. That's going to go here now, thank you very much. Yeah, so I reckon if I did this every night, I could probably have all the skill lines maxed by the weekend, like, of what we would use in PvP at the very minimum. Yeah, more Falcon of Swiftness. I'll kill this group here and we'll morph that quickly because that does need morphing. Let's get Bird of Prey. Consuming Darkness, so I can level this up quicker. I'm only getting this because I want to level up the actual skill line faster. Shadowy Disguise. The bear I'm not going to use. Like, on meme builds, like pet builds, fantastic. Yeah, so if anybody's just joined us, what we're doing is playing Level Up. It's a wonderful game. It is incredibly mind-numbing, I'm not going to lie. But it is an evil we have to do. All this for YouTube, eh? But once it's done once, it's done once. So there is that. Right, Shadow's level 17. We've literally done one lap and that has gone up so much. Yeah, so one lap, Shadow's gone to level 20. Like, if it only had the same leveling curve the whole way. Because I wouldn't mind if it was like 3 or 4 laps to then get a max level, but it's not, it's like 20, 30. So, I wonder how many people come stay the weekend when I don't normally stream and do PvP and stuff will have all of their skill lines done like this. I think what's quite mad is that we've literally done a couple loops and this has gone from 1 to 23 and this has not leveled up once to the animal companions. $25. Look, that's not even going. It's not even moving. And we do have skills on there. Look, we've got 2 skills. It's not like we've not only got any skills on there. Oh, that's interesting. Someone was saying earlier about Deep Fissure, yeah? They've changed it. When you push Deep Fissure, so I can cloak. I can't push Deep Fissure and cloak. They've turned that off. That's really disappointing. Because obviously it's still an active skill, isn't it? Oh, that is really like... I get why they've done it. Hey, animal companions leveled up once. Do you think, is it me or is the XP curve pretty mad? Let me put a poll on there. And it definitely looks like people want me to make a video on this. Like on the XP stuff. Yeah, I'm curious what you think. Literally leveled up so many skills. Do you think the XP curve is okay? What would be the most useful DK skill line to drop for siphoning? What do you mean by DK? Do you mean Nightblade? Or are you meaning trying to get siphon it into your DK? So I might misunderstand, Jackson. I think you're asking if you're going to add siphoning to the Dragonknight, what Dragonknight skill line would you get rid of? If you could clarify, that would be helpful. .46 on that, so close. Alright, so we are slowly getting there. Slowly but surely. Grab all the little spider friends. Up you come. It's good amount of damage this has, doesn't it? Literally, we just get them in a group and they just blow up. Alright, we've almost got this up. What's the most useful Dragonknight skill line? Oh, do you mean the other way around? The most useful DK skill line, it depends on what you're trying to do, and that's like a bit of a cop-out answer, yeah? So, they all have merits. If you bear with me 1 second, I'll show you. Yeah. So if we go to Dragonknight, Earthen Heart. Earthen Heart benefits because it has access to Petrify, which is Shattering Rock, which is a stun and it heals you. It's really good for PvP because they can't block it. It also gives you passive healing, so it's kind of a double whammy, which is really nice. It also does a tiny bit of damage. The passives are pretty good because you get Battle Roar. The Mountain's Blessing is nice because it's free damage. The Helping Hands, it's like free sustain. So in this one skill line, you've basically got a stun that gives you bonus damage and your ultimates that will give you resources. You also get some slight resource sustained from using the stun as well. The other ones within this, not too great. Corrosive is a really good ult though. You just can't generate ult whilst you're in there. Ash Cloud is a really good heal over time, especially for you and allies, so this is really good in PvP. The armor buff, you can give the armor buff to, sorry, the damage buff to you and allies with molten weapons and molten armaments, so that's quite decent. It lasts a very long time. That said, most people should be running armor damage anyway. The shield can give you major mending, so that's not bad. So this skill line is very decent for a range of different stuff. Healing, defense, but loads of good passives. The Draconic Power skill line. The actual skills, armor buff you have built in anyway when you do damage on a Nightblade. Dark Talons you're not really going to use. Coag is amazing as a burst heal. Fantastic. Scales is decent. Inhale's bit mid. The passives, block, you're not going to do it as a Nightblade. You will do the burn and heat, get an extra healing. So if you did use, say, Dragon's Blood, so Coag, you can get, I think it's 12% when it's fully buffed, it might be 8%. You also get health regen and you get more armor. The Ardent Flame is like basic damage, so it's spammable, straight burst skill with 2 decent dots. Inferno, Cauterize is very good heal over time, or you got Flames of Oblivion, which is a decent AoE damage. Combustion gives you more sustain, a bit dots. Warmth is pretty decent for free snares. Searing Heat just makes stuff last longer. Word and Ruin increases your poison and fire damage. So it really depends what you want to do. If you're trying to go down more passive healing, Draconic Power will give you the best burst heal, because this burst heal is better than your burst heal. Plus you get extra healing from this, which is nice. And the extra healing would also apply to all of your heals. So your Swallow Soul will give you more heals because this is on you. You also get a really good ultimate. Leap is fantastic. If you go down the Earthen Heart, this will give you the better stun and the better passives. These are always active and always useful. You don't need to use the stun. And if you wanted to use a damage buff because you don't have one on a Nightblade, you could use Molten Weapons, which will also give you Minor Brutality, which is more damage. So then it gives you your damage buff plus your extra damage buff here. And you also get the free ult sustain. So like Earthen Heart is probably the more all-round use. You'd go with Molten Weapons for your damage buff, or you go with the stun. Draconic Power is if you can replace your burst heal to get a better burst heal with some more passive healing. Ardent Flames if you want more sustained damage. I don't think you need that personally. I'll go between Earthen or Draconic Power depending on what you want. More healing, Draconic Power. More like utility all round, Earthen Heart. If you want more passive damage, Earthen Heart if you get your damage buff through Molten Armaments. So that's quite a bit of information to your question. I hope that gives you like a good amount of, oh, that makes sense. But yeah, I'd be curious what your thoughts are. That's my like breakdown of it and why I would use either one over the other. There are 47. I might have to leave it not leveled at 50 today. To the poll, by the way, people put a poll in the chat going, what do you guys think about the XP curve? So how long does it take to level the other skills compared to like the early ones? So for context, my animal companions have gone up 2.5 levels, yeah? My shadow's gone from 1 to 32 in the same amount of time. That's what I mean by the XP curve. So do you think that's okay to go from level 1 to 32 in the same amount of time as you've gone from 45 to 47? You know, I've got 2 skills here, I've got 2 skills here. I'm going to change this though to get a different one here, just so that we can level that up a little bit. What's that on? That's almost maxed. Level that to max and then I'll switch it over. I will stay on for 10 minutes, guys. Use the rest of this scroll up. And then that way you can just like see what basically like 2 hours looks like with scrolls. And just note that I've done a lot of like stuff in the middle, like showing different skills, different locations. So I'd say you probably can at least take away 20 minutes of just like faff. Oh, I was trying to push that out for ages. Dodgy controller. Oh, we're still waiting for those to spawn. Hey, 48. We might get this to 50. It'd be good to have 2 skill lines done tonight, like fully 50, because we can actually use them then on like all of our characters. And I've chosen 2 really good ones to use. Part of me's thinking, this sounds really silly, yeah? I might put all of this on a necromancer, my leveling stuff. Not because the necromancers are great, but they actually have the armor buff, which pulls stuff into you. And that might make it a bit quicker, or a bit easier to kill bigger groups. Because I'm not having to do as much running around. Like, I'm killing them fast, as you can see. We'll grab this group down here. I've got 8 minutes left on the scroll. We can change that now because that's maxed. That is pretty mad. This has gone up so high. In the same amount of time. About 7 minutes to try and get to 50. That's going to go there. You could do, if you wanted to, do something like Infinite Archive. Yes, you get much slower XP, but you do get some useful sets. Go, little pigeons, go. Do. Hey, one more level, guys. And then that's maxed. Because what we're going for at the moment is just getting all the skills accessible. Because when I actually want to set up a build, I can then access them. A bird of prey is maxed. Yeah, they're all maxed, damn it. That's really, really good. Age of protection leaves. Enemies in the area take damage over time. Not really going to use that, but cloak's leveled fully. I may use Phantasmal Escape. And then I'm going to put this there. That's better for PvP, that one, for what I was using. I'm just moving some stuff around so that way I can keep the same number of skills. Fear, you might use Fear maybe. And we'll put the bird of prey up the back bar here. Like, I know it's only one level, but I want to like not waste my XP. I'm going to go in the next 3 or 4 minutes, guys. So if you get any pressing questions about subclassing, leveling, so on, put it in the chat, or you can obviously message me in the Discord afterwards. I'll reply like there much quicker. I'm going to go to try and get this to 50 as quick as I can in the next couple of minutes. Because I want this level of 50. It's quite a grind though, I'm not gonna lie. This is like pretty grindy. Like, thankfully, it's only once, like per skill line. So a lot of work. That's almost... You can definitely feel the XP drop though without having the Nightblade skill. I am definitely leaning towards Necromancer leveling just because of the armor pool. Having that passive armor pool is quite nice. Arcasia C says, why is the Necromancer skills locked even though I have the expansion? Have you leveled up a Necromancer already, Arcasia? I think it's Arcasia, sorry. Because what will happen is when you go to the Hunting Woman, you can't access the subclass, the other class subclass, until you've leveled one up before. So this is level 50, so I can use this to show you now. For people curious, by the way, to the poll about how long it takes, yeah? This Animal Companions are leveled up 5 times, and Shadow is leveled up 37 or 38 now in total. So So in the same XP I need to get animal companions from 45 to 50, I've got shadow from 1 to 38. That's what I mean with the XP curve. So I will go and show you over here the thing Acacia, so you can kind of see it. Let me go to a shrine quickly. And you can kind of see why it's locked out. So when you complete the quest, the woman will give you access to like the subclass area, which is down here. And some of these, you are right, are locked. The only way to have them unlocked is to have previously knowledge, like have previous knowledge of that in the account. So what that means is you have to have a character that's level 50 on all those skill lines. The only way around that, if you haven't got a necromancer already leveled, is to subclass and level up. So lots of people who have alts already, like myself, if you log into your alt when you first do that, you get this achievement on your character. So in the achievements, you'll get like Earthen Heart Master, Ardent Flame Master, all these different class masteries. So like, I've got it down here, Necromancer class mastery. So because I have this unlocked, I can then use the Necromancer subclassing on any class. I still have to level it up though. If you go down the subclassing route of it, you can then get to the same outcome, but you can only do one skill line at a time. So for people who have alts, my advice at the start of the video was log into all your alts to get these straight away, which I did. And then once you have all of this done, you can then start focusing on actually leveling up the subclasses themselves, which is what we've been doing. So tonight we've been able to get Animal Companions to level 50. We've also been able to get the Nightblade Assassination to 50 and Shadow to 38 in 2 hours. So that's kind of the reason why, if you haven't leveled it before, like your account doesn't understand necromancers essentially. So you either make a brand new character and level up fully to give your account the knowledge of a necromancer, or you level up one of the skill lines through subclassing, and when it's 50 you can then change it and change it and change it to done all three to then have access to all three. But yeah, I'm going to call it here because it is late where I am, like really late. It's 20 past midnight and I have work in the morning, so I'm going to call it here. If you get any questions between now and the next video or stream, put in the comments. I'll obviously do my best to reply. I do have a Discord, which is, like, in all honesty, it's a quick way to get hold of me. So if you've got a really pressing question, Discord's a lot easier to like find me on. So this is the Discord here. And then as always, I'm just saying massive thanks for the likes, the comments, the subscribes. It really helps out. And a bigger thank you to the YouTube and the Patreon members who get exclusive content, early access and much more. So if you want to support myself and get all that good stuff, there's details down below. But as always guys, thanks for watching, take care and bye.